All right, guys, it's your boy Brutus J, and this is the Brutus J Podcast. January the 24th, the first month of 2026 is almost over, and what a month, what a week it has been, so you already know the slogan. Let's talk about it. All right, guys, as I said, this is Brutus J, and this is the Brutus J Podcast, and guys, hey, I got some apologizing to do. I really do. So, if you're a Big Ten fan, if you're an Indiana Hoosier fan, I sincerely, Brutus J, apologizes. I doubted Indiana from the start of the playoffs to the end of the playoffs, and they proved me wrong every week. I doubted Carson Beck the first few games. You know why I doubted him? Because I thought at any given moment, Carson Beck was going to throw an interception that was going to pretty much clinch the game for the opponent. He proved me wrong throughout the first three games until the last game, the national championship. So, Carson, thanks. Miami had the opportunity, but congratulations to the Indiana Hoosiers. They deserved it. Coach Kirk Sinetti, came in and took a 2-10 Indiana team to 2 years later and turned them into national champs. It don't get no better than that. So Indiana deserve it. I hear all the jokes about Indiana may be working off AI or Indiana got a bunch of grown men on their team. That might be true. But at the end of the day, folks, transfer portal, NIL, people are getting put through for eligibility up to 8 years, some even 9, 10 years. That's the word of college football now. Experience pays off. So once again, congratulations to the Indiana Hoosiers. Now, let's talk about these stats of the game. Carson Beck, 19 to 32, 232 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 crucial interception. About that interception, 49 seconds left in the game. You are on Indiana's 39-yard line. 49 seconds. I'm talking you still can dink and dunk down to get yourself even a little closer to where you can throw maybe at least 10, 15-yard touchdown, 20-yard touchdown. But you chose Carson Beck to heave up a ball in double coverage to where you know all night long Indiana plays a zone defense. And what does a zone defense do most of the time? Safeties, linebackers, corners, they read the quarterback's eyes. And they've been baiting you all night long, and you wait to do it at pretty much the end of the game. And what did it do? Clinch the game for Indiana to win. But back to the stats. Mark Fletcher Jr., by the way, had an awesome game. 17 carries, 112 yards, 2 TDs. Folks, I ain't gonna lie. When it was 10-0 and Mark Fletcher Jr. broke that long touchdown in the third quarter, I thought Miami was about to come back and dominate this game, but it didn't happen. It did not happen. Malachi Tony balled out, 10 catches, 122 yards, 1 touchdown. He is going to be special, and you better believe he's going to be on that Heisman ballot next year. Definitely. CJ Daniels, good game, 4 catches, 62 yards. Let's talk about Indiana. When you look at Indiana stats, week in and week out, they the same. Balanced. Straight balance. Fernando Mendoza, 16 to 27, 186 yards, 0 touchdown passes. Black, running back, 17 carries, 79 yards, 0 touchdown. Hemby, 19 carries, 80 yards, 0 touchdowns. Fernando Mendoza, 7 carries, -8 yards, 1 touchdown. With Indiana, every week, it's going to be balanced. You're not going to see a whole lot of passing yards. You ain't going to see one individual with a whole lot of rushing yards. You ain't going to see one receiver with a whole lot of receiving yards. Everybody is going to be balanced. Kirk Sinetti has a machine building. And if you was to ask me as of right now, who's the best coach in the game right now in college football, you got to say Kirk Sinetti. Again, this man took a team who was 2-10. Think about this now. In 2023, Indiana was 2-10. He came in there from James Madison, brought 13 players. 13 players from James Madison. He did some work in the transfer portal too. But we're not talking high 4 stars, high 5 stars. This guy was bringing in 2 and 3 stars. developing them. Developing them, folks. So Sinetti is the best coach in America right now. But we're going to get into transfer portal and all that stuff because we got a lot to talk about when it comes to that. But Omar Cooper had 5 catches for 71 yards. Becker had 4 catches for 65 yards. And Becker, man, he was the dagger. Those back shoulder fades was just destroying Miami. You know, he was connecting over and over and over again. If you're a Miami fan, I know it was hurting. It probably hurt y'all more than it hurt me. But yes, so your Indiana Hoosiers are the 2025 and 2026 national champs of college football. I cannot wait to next year because when I tell you, it is a lot that's going to be going on in the world of college football. Like I said, we're going to get into more of that later, but we're going to get into these NFL playoffs. Oh, my goodness. Let's talk some NFL, folks. We are down officially to 4 teams, but we're gonna rewind it back to the division round. If you wasn't watching, me and my one of my very special guests that I love bringing on the show, Mr. Jarvis Hicks, he was on the show before the divisional round started, and we had picks, and I think we actually split on what we had decided. But last week you had the Bills and the Broncos. The Broncos defeated the Bills 33-30, and the Seahawks all over the 49ers 41-6, all over them. And then Sunday you had the Patriots who defeated the Texans 28-16, and you had the Rams defeat the Bears 20-17. Now that Bills-Broncos game, again, the Broncos won this game by the score of 33-30. Let's go over the stats, and I'm gonna tell y'all how I feel about this game. We got to talk about it. All right. Josh Allen was 25 of 39, 283 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. James Cook III, 24 carries, 117 yards. Josh Allen also had 12 carries for 66 yards. Dalton Kincaid had 6 catches for 83 yards. Khalil Shakir, 7 catches, 75 yards. I mean, honestly, the problem with Buffalo is they had a chance to get a legit receiver during the trade deadline, and they didn't do it. If they would have had a better receiver in this game, we wouldn't be sitting here talking about a loss, in my opinion. In my opinion. All right. Broncos. Bo Nix, 26 for 46, 279 yards. 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Bo Nix carried the ball for 12 times for 29 yards. Marvin Mims Jr., this guy was a beast. 8 catches, 93 yards, and a touchdown. He was hurting. He was hurting Buffalo all night. Portland Sexton, 4 catches, 53 yards. R.G. Harvey, 5 receptions for 46 yards. Now, let's get back to Bo Nix. Towards the end of the game, the last drive, folks. The last drive. Bo Nix injured his ankle, broke a piece in it, broke a bone in his ankle. So he will not be able to play in the AFC Championship game. Now that hurts. That hurts. I have been on Bo Nix all year long in a positive way, by the way. Now I can admit in college, coming into the league, I didn't think Bo Nix was going to be the player he is. But Bo Nix is a dog. And he is definitely, him and that defense is definitely the reason Denver is where they at now. So, you know, shout out to Bo Nix. Hopefully you'll be ready for 2026 season. But that was a big-time injury, and Denver is going to be facing New England in the AFC Championship game. We're going to preview and get into that later. Now, back to Josh Allen. So, end of the game, Josh Allen had made some comments, pretty much blaming himself for the team's loss. And he was crying, which you should. I mean, this team has been through a lot. I mean, the franchise, Buffalo, has been through a lot. Buffalo went to 4 straight Super Bowls and lost. You know, and it's no different the past few years what they've been going through. They are, losing to the Chiefs all the time. They've had multiple times to get to the Super Bowl with Josh Allen. They just can't get over that hump. So I get it. Josh Allen was sad. He had 2 interceptions. He put the team on his shoulders, and he's blaming himself for the loss. Now, I understand Josh Allen. I understand. It's a team game. I understand him. What I don't like is this. Outside of what Josh Allen said, a lot of analysts, a lot of reporters, they treat it the same way. Well, actually, they don't agree with Josh. I feel like they don't put a lot of pressure on Josh Allen the way they do other NFL quarterbacks. Like, for example, I'm going to be honest. If this was Lamar Jackson, if this was, I can bring up plenty of players. I'm just going to use Lamar Jackson. If this were Lamar Jackson, they would come down all over him. Everybody remember last year when the Baltimore Ravens lost? Who did they come down on? All over him. But why does Josh Allen get the special treatment? Now, he put the team on his shoulders and he admitted he's responsible for the loss. I don't think he's responsible for the loss. All I'm saying is when he comes out and make a comment like that, people coddle him instead of actually, you know what I'm saying, giving him some criticism. You had a few, but most, they don't give him the same criticism that they give other NFL quarterbacks when they have mistakes like that. I mean, I can even throw Trevor Lawrence out there. And Trevor Lawrence, you know, I feel like he really starting to get it. They lost in the playoffs, but still, you know, he has been criticized for years. But that's just my opinion, though. That's my opinion. All right. 49ers and the Seahawks. I kind of had a feeling that this game was going to happen this way. 41-6 Seahawks. Excuse me. Brock Purdy, 15 of 27, 140 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. I'm going to tell y'all something. I am not a 49ers fan, but I'm one of them type of people. When the 49ers are good, it's good for the NFL. And I'm not a 49er fan, but I'm talking to the 49ers. To you 49er fans, I know it has to be hard, the situation y'all going through. You got a quarterback who was drafted last. He had a good year, and I know some of y'all don't like the inconsistency that he shows. Some of y'all pretty much want a new quarterback, and I feel you. I don't like the inconsistency. I actually like Mac Jones better. But the problem is, Purdy is like, he can give you a game in the world, oh man, that's our guy. And then the next game, you like, oh, what's going on? But then he'll come back and have another game. Like, he's not consistent. And they've given him a contract. Now, we know contracts don't mean that in the NFL, but if I am the 49ers and John Lynch, if you're not looking for to try to develop Mac Jones more and turn him into your starter, you need to go out and look for another quarterback because it's not going to work. The 49ers are too good of a franchise to be losing in the playoffs 41-6, especially coming off a big win in Philadelphia. How? You get that big win on the road against the champs, and then the next week you get beat 41-6. Now I get it if the game was a lot closer, but you getting blew out 41. I'm not even going to go over the rest of the stats because this game just had me ticked off. As you can see, I'm not a Seahawks fan. We'll talk about the Seahawks stats, though. Sam Darnold, 12 of 17, 124 yards. Seahawks won the game 41-6. Sam Darnold was 12 of 17, 124 yards. He only had to pass the ball 17 times. Kenneth Walker III, 19 carries, 116 yards, 3 touchdowns. Rashid Shaheed, 2 catches, 27 yards. Oh, by the way, he started the game off with a kickoff return, which pretty much lit a fire in Seattle the rest of the way. That defense was dominant. All right, Texans and Patriots. Wow, now this is a game that you can compare to the Buffalo. New England defeated Houston 28-16. C.J. Stroud, very bad game. 20 of 47, 212 yards, 1 touchdown, and 4 interceptions. And guess what? The media put it on him. They put it on. Now, don't get me wrong. 4 interceptions is way worse than 2 interceptions of what Josh Allen had, but they let this kid have it. And all C.J. Stroud did was bring his team back from I think they started the year, 1-4, and he was hurt. But what'd he do? Come back, lead his team to the playoffs. So, but one bad game, the media is all over you. They are all over. Woody Marks, 14 carries, 17 yards. Shout out to New England defense, though, man. That defense was nasty. They were nasty. All right. Patriots stats. Drake May. Y'all know I love me some Drake May. Shout out to Drake May. UNC alum, played with my son. He was 16 of 27 and 79 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, sacked 5 times for 36 yards. Stevenson had 16 carries, 70 yards. Henderson, 12 carries, 25 yards. Boutte, Kashawn Boutte, 3 catches for 75 yards, 1 touchdown. Stephon Diggs, 4 catches, 40 yards, 1 touchdown. Demario Douglas had 2 catches for 36 yards and a touchdown. So shout out to them. I know Stephon Diggs is living it. I mean, if you Buffalo, and I know I keep going back to Buffalo. I know a guy, he's a huge Buffalo fan, one of my customers at work. He made a comment. He said this, and it's so true. If you Buffalo, now I get it, Stephon Diggs can be a household, but what big time receiver ain't a house, ain't a diva? That's just the way they are. If you would have kept Stephon Diggs, at least to mentor Keon Coleman, he would be better than what he is now. But you chose to let him go without having Keon Coleman have any kind of mentor whatsoever and expect that young man to be great by year 2. I don't think so. Now Stephon Diggs going to the AFC Championship game. How about that? All right, Rams against the Bears. Rams defeated the Bears by the score of 20-17 in overtime. And man, you got to feel bad for Caleb Williams in this game. He played a terrific game, man. He played a good game. He had a good game. 23 of 42, 257 yards, 2 touchdowns. Yes, he had 3 interceptions. He did have 3 interceptions. But the Bears jumped off to a great start. Chicago is back, folks. Don't let this playoff loss make you think that going forward that the Bears are going to be back to where they were. No, they got a quarterback. There was a lot of learning curves in this game for Caleb Williams. It was a bad throw that he made in overtime. They wasn't even that far. We talking, I think it was like second down and like 5. He chose to go deep. Rams picked it off, drove down the field, kicked the field goal, and won the game in overtime. That's what happened. It was a learning curve for him. Was it hard? Yes, it was. That young man was, boy, it was hard to watch on the sideline. I was a Caleb Williams criticist. I criticized Caleb Williams. Same way I did with Bo Nix coming into the league. But the Bears will be back. But another thing about this game, Sean McVay might be the best coach in the NFL. But he may be the best. When he has a when he has a healthy quarterback, man, this man can call some plays. He can call some plays. DeAndre Swift had 19 carries for 76 yards. Caleb Williams, 5 carries, 40 yards. And as I said, Caleb Williams was 23 of 42, 257 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. All right, the Rams. Matthew Stafford, 20 of 42, 258 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Aaron Williams, 21 carries, 87 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That kid right there is a hassle. He can catch it out the backfield. He can run it. So the Rams, dangerous team. As long as Sean McVay got a healthy quarterback, the Rams are always going to be in it. That's just what it is. All right. So the conference championships games are set. You got the Patriots at the Broncos. Sunday, 3 p.m. on CBS. Also, you have the Rams at the Seahawks. Sunday, 6:30 on Fox. The NFC Championship game. All right, my picks. All right, guys. So I am a Drake May fan. I love me some Drake May. They're on the road against the Broncos, who don't have their starting quarterback. But one thing the Broncos do have is a legit defense. I'm talking about from top. I'm talking about the defensive line is good. Every level of the linebackers, shutdown corner, they are good. But they don't have their quarterback. Give me the Patriots. But I got to admit, if you the Rams or the Seahawks, you sitting back waiting on your game to start. If you watching this Patriots-Broncos game, I want Denver to win. Because if you get Denver to win this game, you got 2 weeks. What is it, 2 or 3 weeks to the big game to prepare for a quarterback who don't even start, hasn't even started. I would rather prepare for him than Bo Nix. Scheme around him than Bo Nix. So I'm cheering for the Broncos if I'm the Rams or the Seahawks, but I got the Patriots winning this game. It's an unfortunate situation, and the more, if the defense shows up, cause some turnovers, hey, we may be talking about a Broncos win. But as long as Bo Nix is not in that starting lineup, I got the Patriots. So give me the Patriots. The Patriots are going back to the Super Bowl, in my opinion. How about that? When you look at all these teams around the NFL, and I'm gonna go ahead and say it, the Atlanta Falcons, and we're gonna talk about them too. The Atlanta Falcons. Here we are talking about the Patriots. 6 Super Bowls. Don't have Belichick. Don't have Tom Brady. Tom been gone for what, about 5 years? Belichick been gone for what, about 2 or 3 years? Back in the Super Bowl already. Robert Kraft can run an organization. If you the Falcons, if you some of these other NFL teams who don't even have a Super Bowl trophy case at your stadium, how can the Patriots do this over and over again, and it's still teams out there trying to figure it out? I'll tell you why. They good when it comes to scouting college players, interviews, the whole nine. Some of these teams are too quick to pull the trigger without doing a good job of scouting. And that is your Atlanta Falcons. But we're going to get into that. All right, Rams and Seahawks. This is going to be a good game. Much as I love Sean McVay, again, healthy quarterback, he's good. But the game is in Seattle, and that 12th man is real, folks. That 12th man is real. Give me the Seahawks in this game. Spread in this game, by the way, is minus 2.5 Seahawks. And in the New England game, it's minus 3.5. You would think that it would be higher in the New England game, being the fact that Bo Nix is not playing. So I am picking the Patriots and the Seahawks in the 2026 big game. That's who I'm picking. That is who I'm picking. Now, other NFL news. Those who don't know, the Atlanta Falcons, I am in Georgia, somewhere in Georgia. The Atlanta Falcons chose to sign Kevin Stefanski as their next head coach. For those who don't know who that is, he was the head coach of the Cleveland Browns who recently got fired on Black Monday. Soon as the season ended. Stefanski was with Cleveland 6 years, had a record of 45-56. Matt Ryan is the new president of operations for the Atlanta Falcons. That means he's over the general manager. He's pretty much next to Arthur Blank. Arthur Blank chose him to pretty much run everything. And this was his first choice. Little nugget here. Matt Ryan is from Philadelphia. You want to know where Kevin Stefanski is from? Philadelphia. My understanding is this. I don't know how true it is, but my understanding is it really wasn't even a real interview, that it was a FaceTime call. I hope to God that ain't true. I hope that ain't true, but that's what I'm hearing. I hope it ain't true. I feel like you're basically bringing a hen in the fox house. And here's the reason why, folks. And you can criticize me all you want about this. I don't care. I'm going to speak what's on my mind. If you got a coach in Cleveland who had a situation with Shedeur Sanders, and a lot of people feel like it wasn't handled right. And I don't like bringing race in it. It really ain't got nothing to do with race, but hear me out. In the city of Atlanta, there are people out there still mourning the loss of Michael Vick in the Atlanta Falcons organization to this day, which is ridiculous, by the way. It's ridiculous. I cannot stand here and be, Michael Vick, he could have did this. No. Matt Ryan is the best quarterback ever in the Atlanta Falcons organization. I'll say that stat-wise, Matt Ryan is. But if you choose to bring a head coach who handled the Shedeur Sanders situation the way that people didn't like, a certain type of people, I'm not going to, you know what I'm saying. And we know in the city of Atlanta, again, what I said about Michael Vick, you choosing to bring him over here. These folks are going to run this man out of town if he don't win. Ain't no going 5-13 your first year. No. They're going to expect results quick. The moment this man start going on a losing streak, they are going to run him out of town, folks. They're going to run him out of town. Do I agree with it? No. I mean, I really do feel like the Falcons, they rushed it, man. They rushed it. If they would have waited a little long, it's teams out there still don't got a coach. The Raiders still don't have a coach. The Baltimore Ravens still don't have a coach. You chose to pull the trigger quick for Kevin Stefanski. Oh, and by the way, the Giants hired Harbaugh from the Ravens after he got fired. You could have had a shot at him. Matter of fact, I think they interviewed him. I don't know what happened, but I would have chose him over Kevin Stefanski. And even though they're saying Mike Tomlin might take a year off, shoot your shot. Shoot your shot, man. I mean, I just don't understand it. But, and I'm not even a Falcon fan. I'm a Minnesota Viking fan by heart. But, I will support my local area all the time until they play my team. But that is your Atlanta Falcons. There's your Atlanta Falcons. So, hey, good luck, Kevin Stefanski. All right, folks, let's start talking some NBA. A lot going on in the NBA. A lot going on. By the way, little drama spearing up in L.A. with Jenny Buss and LeBron James. For those who don't know, the Busses pretty much who have owned the L.A. Lakers for years. By the way, I think they're in the process of selling. She had some nasty words to say about LeBron James, but then after questioning about it, she actually spoke about it to The Athletic. But when asked about it, she kind of refuted it. I ain't going to really say kind of refuted it. She just made a comment saying she hates that he's being dragged into her family drama. But her comments was that she felt like, pretty much that LeBron James is a control freak. It was a time in 2022 where she really wanted to trade him to the LA Clippers because of his ego. She felt like he wasn't gracious enough because they chose to to draft his son. I mean, it doesn't take a fool to realize that was a favor. I don't like, I'm going to be honest with you folks. If that was my son, I would have, he could have been one of the worst players in college. I still would have did the same thing. And if you saying you wouldn't have did that, you lying. You are lying. I would have did the same thing. People love to criticize LeBron James about that, but hey, anybody would have did that for their son. And I'm pretty sure it's a lot of cases out there where the same thing happened. It's just the fact that he's LeBron James. Yep, it's just the fact that he's LeBron. All right, we can talk about some of these scores. Let's talk about Friday night scores. The Rockets defeated the Pistons 111-104. The Hawks defeated the Suns 110-103. Whew, I tell you, man, I am still amazed about how the Hawks traded away their point guard to the Washington Wizards. That was something else, but that's where he wanted to go. That is exactly where he wanted to go. The Celtics defeated the Nets 130-126. The Cavs defeated the Kings 123-118. The Pelicans defeated the Grizzlies 133-127. The Thunder lose to the Pacers by the score of 117-114. That's something you rarely hear about, the Thunder losing. The Nuggets defeated the Bucks 102-100. The Raptors defeated the Trailblazers by the score of 110-98. Take a look at these standings right now. Detroit Pistons are still at the top of the Eastern Conference at 32-11, followed by Boston and Toronto and the Knicks. For those who don't know, I picked the New York Knicks to go to the NBA championship, with the San Antonio Spurs in the Western Conference too. OKC sitting at 37-9 in the Western Conference at first, and the San Antonio Spurs at 31-14 second. And third is Denver, followed by fourth, KD and Houston, and fifth, the Lakers, and sixth, the Phoenix Suns. So there we go, talking a little NBA. And if you were interested in stats, Doncic, 33 points a game. Gilgeous-Alexander, 32 points a game. I tell you, man, back in the day in the 90s and stuff, the highest points per game probably was around like 29, 30 points. Nowadays, these guys are balling. You got 3 guys averaging 30-plus points a game. Maxey for Philly, Alexander and Doncic. Cade Cunningham leading the league in assists at 9.7. 3-pointers made, Steph Curry at 4.6. Rebounds a game is Towns from New York at 11.5. Blocks is Sarr from Washington at 2.1 a game. Steals per game is Leonard from the LA Clippers at 2.2. I tell you what, Maxey from Philly, man, he is just balling. He is balling. All right, let's talk some college basketball. I watched a great game today. Took the fam out to Applebee's. Shout out to Applebee's, man. Good food. We had a good time. North Carolina men's basketball team go against the Virginia Cavaliers in Virginia. It was a good game. Shout out to the Tar Heels. Came back and won as they defeated the Virginia Cavaliers by the score of 85-80. All right, other scores. Right now, currently, Auburn is leading Florida 46-30 in the second half with 17 minutes to go. LSU and Arkansas are tied at 18. Duke defeated Wake Forest 90-69. Nebraska defeated Minnesota 76-57. Michigan State all over Maryland 91-48. Vanderbilt defeated Mississippi State 88-56. Clemson defeated Georgia Tech 77-63. UConn defeated Villanova 75-67. Texas all over Georgia 87-67. Arizona defeated West Virginia 88-53. Texas Tech with the big win over Houston 90-86. Louisville defeated Virginia Tech 85-71. Illinois defeated Purdue 88-82. Iowa State defeated Oklahoma State 84-71. And later on tonight, you got Utah against BYU, San Francisco at Gonzaga, Kansas at Kansas State, and Tennessee at Alabama. All right, let's talk some women's basketball. You already know the women's been balling. They have been balling. All right, let's talk about some games that's going on right now. Duke all over Pittsburgh, 76-30. At the end of the third quarter, Louisville defeated Boston College 85-56. UConn, is anybody going to beat UConn this year? Is anybody going to beat UConn this year? Because it doesn't look like it. UConn all over Seton Hall, 92-52. Princeton, 58-49 over Brown. Georgia defeated Kentucky, 72-67. TCU defeated UCF, 67-50. Nebraska defeated Illinois, 81-75. Later on, you have Texas Tech against Utah and West Virginia against BYU. All right, that's going to do it for women's basketball. Now, what I want to talk about now is what I've been waiting to talk about, guys. All right, so let's talk about the transfer portal for those who are confused, because people do get confused. Transfer portal opened up January 2nd. It recently closed up January the 16th. But what people need to understand, it's closed, but you can still sign as long as your name is in the transfer portal. So basically, the last day, when they say the 16th, is the last day to get your name in there. So there are tons of players in the transfer portal right now that are still getting signed. Now, as far as Indiana and Miami, the portal just opened up as soon as their game ended. So they had a window. So now let's talk about the transfer portal. Guys, I can tell y'all now, I'm one very happy man about the logo. All right, so 2 different websites that list the rankings. Of course, you got On3 and you have 247. ESPN even has their own, but they don't list it like publicly. They talk about it at the end. In the transfer portal, number 1 overall is the LSU Tigers with 40 commits on average, 88.62. 88 player average. They got 88.62. 3 5-stars, 11 4-stars, 23 3-stars. Recruiting percentage, their ratings, 87.78. The next closest thing is 63.76, and that is the Ole Miss Rebels, and we're going to talk about them, folks. I got to tell you something, man. Hey, I know we got the Georgia, the Auburns, the Alabama, the Tennessees, But this Ole Miss LSU rivalry, folks, it's going to be nasty. When I tell you it is going to be nasty, they have taken a hold of Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. All day, every day since the transfer portal has opened, those fan bases have been going at it. You have LSU who have taken players from Ole Miss. Ole Miss has taken players from LSU. The difference is, in my opinion, I feel like LSU let go of players who were on LSU's team last year who pretty much didn't perform well. LSU picked them. But LSU has taken starters from Ole Miss, and we looked at an Ole Miss team this year who pretty much made it to the semifinals of the college football playoffs. So that's the difference in my opinion. They took the SEC's leading tackler, TJ Daugherty. They took a four-star offensive lineman who was projected to be the starting left tackle for Ole Miss next year, who's probably going to end up being a guard for LSU. They took the number one edge rusher in the transfer portal from Ole Miss, who had 9 sacks and wasn't even a starter. Had 9 sacks. Guess what? He's on LSU. He is on the LSU team. By the way, let's talk about what LSU has gotten. Sam Levitt, number one quarterback in the transfer portal. Jordan Seaton, number one tackle in the transfer portal. Prince Will, number one edge rusher in the portal. I can go on and on and on again. This is a historic transfer portal for the LSU Tigers. So shout out to Lane Kiffin. Now, folks, people are going to continue to say what they say about Lane Kiffin, and I get it. A lot of people upset about how he left them. But what people have to understand is this. In the normal job world, this is how the world works. People in their feelings, I get it. I get it. But Lane chose a better opportunity. Those players that he got at LSU, if he was at Ole Miss, he wouldn't have been able to pull this off. This is the reason why he left. This is why. This is why he's called the Portal King. Now, did he have top 5 portal classes at Ole Miss? Yes. But this portal team right here is nothing compared to what he had at Ole Miss. Nothing compared to it. But I think Ole Miss is going to be decent. Do I think they're going to be the same without Lane? No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. They're going to do the best they can. And they're not doing bad in this part. As I said, they're number 2. But the deficit from number 1 and number 2 and the rest is outstanding. So shout out to the LSU Tigers on a terrific job in this transfer portal, but we're not going to sit here and turn this into an LSU show. We're not going to do that. All right. So Texas came in at 3rd, Ohio State at 4, Penn State at 5, Oklahoma State 6. Oklahoma State lost their coach and almost everybody. So they brought in 54 commits. Indiana 7, Texas Tech 8, Kentucky 9. How about Kentucky? Notre Dame at 10. So, so the transfer portal, like I said, technically is closed, but you still are able to sign people whose name is in the portal right now. So it's still ongoing. So, guys, hey, man, college football is a 12-month thing now. It ain't no 3-4 months. It's all year long, and I cannot wait to the 2026 season. And in my opinion, it starts in July. Late August is the first kickoff, but to me, it really get kicked off in July. For some, it's spring football, but you can say that too. But I'm looking forward to the season to start off really, really fast. And before you know it, it'll be here. But all right, guys, it has been a great show. Hey, I got a special interview tomorrow, and I will be on here, and I'm not going to announce it until it is done. Almost here, but hey, until then, guys, it has been a great show, and I thank you guys for tuning in. I thank you guys for continually supporting me and the Brutus J Podcast show. Until then, you guys enjoy the rest of the weekend watching these championship games in the NFL, because you already know we're going to go over and we're going to cover them. So you guys have a fantastic Saturday night and a fantastic Sunday filled with sports. And we will get with you really soon. Have a good one.